Hi, I want to show you the process of restoring wood trim of a 79 450 SL Mercedes R107. As you can see, I'm currently gluing the veneer, new veneer onto the old part. The reason for that is, it's a Zabrano, by the way, as you can see. The reason why I'm gluing a new veneer and not restoring the old one is because it was all faded from the sun, and those darker stripes were barely visible. So what I did, I used a heat gun to strip the epoxy that was on top of the veneer, and now I'm using, it's called modified veneer. It's like 0.2 millimeter thick on a fabric, and this fabric, I think, gives it a bit more flexibility and possibility to form it in different shapes, which is nice. And it's nice because it's very thin, so it's like it's not there. After we finish gluing, we will use this blade to cut everything that is not needed here, cut it away, just like on that piece. It's almost finished. I'm filling this hole with epoxy now because previous owner drilled it for, I don't know, another 12 volt outlet probably. I used this blade to cut all these openings. As you can see, these are the parts that came off it, and then we will have to sand this thing absolutely flat, because adding glue to the veneer is adding moisture to the wood, and it gets thicker, but it's not getting the same thickness all around. There are parts that are getting thicker and parts that are not, and it's forming this wavy pattern that we will have to flat it out. As you can see, I'm using lots of clamps and some weights, and that is because this part was domed like this, probably from age, sun, heat, I don't know. I'll get to you when I'm done the gluing. Okay, our piece is dry already, as you can see. Now I will use that blade to cut all the excess veneer, and I will use the edge of the part as a guide while I'm cutting. So I'll get back to you when it's done. Cutting is done. As you can see, or maybe you can't see, it went quite well. And now the next thing is to get it absolutely smooth, and this is crucial because later when you will be laying lacquer or epoxy on top of that, you will get less holes to fill, and that means that you will be able to use less material and do it much quicker. So now I'm going to sand it, and I will also sand all those rough edges. It was not essential with these holes because the switches that go there, they are actually, the face of the switch is bigger than the hole, so it covers all the rough edges and not precise cutting. But this is for the AC unit, and it's flush with this hole, so it has to be top notch, really. So I will show it after sanding. Okay, the piece has been sanded. I don't know if you can see it, but it feels absolutely smooth. I used P100 grit sandpaper on a orbital sander, and I finished it by hand. I think it's 200 or 240, I'm not sure. Now we are going to use a wood stain. This one is from IKEA. It's for like garden furniture, and I have found it to fit the R107 wood trim, and I had a BMW E38 which had a cracked gearbox selector knob, and I used the same stain and it blended perfectly to the wood in the car. Actually, this piece, you can see, this is the color that it will get after staining. Okay, so I will do it by a foam pad and try to get it as close to this one as possible. All right, that thing is stained, and I got the color, I think. Now I will put silicone remover on this, just for the clear, not to form many fish eyes. It will form fish eyes because I'm using a 2K clear coat from a spray can, and I find it to work good on wood, but not perfect. It's, you know, it's for automotive, like fender painting and etc. And the wood will have some oils in it either way. But I will try to get as good job as possible in degreasing this thing before. I will put probably 5 or 6 very thick coats with 2-3 minutes intervals for gas off, and it's pretty essential to have this part leveled during the painting process, because you will get streaks if it's like vertical or at an angle. So I'll get back to you when this thing is done. As you can see, it's lacquered now, and we coat some dust specks, some tiny particles into the clear coat. I will cut them out with P2000 sandpaper, and then I'm going to polish it. It will be OM quality or close. So I think that's all about the wood trim restoring process. Have fun with your project.